All right, this incident is not the first of its kind. It's been happening over many years, and it is particularly perhaps more prevalent during this period because this is the summer season in Kashmir. Therefore, the opportune time for the Pakistanis to push in as many infiltrators into the hinterland of Kashmir as possible. As far as we know, this incident which happened in Poonch day before yesterday night, around 1 a.m. or so, involved an Indian area domination patrol, which was across the fence, patrolling on the Indian side of the line of control. So the line of control was about 400 meters away, and that's around this time when they were ambushed. And since there was heavy rain, 5 of these boys were killed. One was injured. He's all right. He's recuperating in the hospital. But this has many parallels to what happened in January when Hemraj was killed. They too the same circumstances, patrolling outside the fence, and they were ambushed and killed. In that case, of course, there was a beheading. In the current case, there wasn't any. But basically, we will see retaliation at some point by the Indian Army. In fact, the general sense one gets is that this operation by the Pakistanis was driven by events that perhaps may have been precipitated by us. There's some speculation that perhaps Indian Special Forces operations across the line of control may have provoked the Pakistanis to this incident. But anyhow, we don't know about that. That's all just speculation and hearsay. What we're going to see now is perhaps further review of operational procedures that happen. The CO of the battalion, of course, will be under tremendous pressure to exact vengeance. But frankly, this is also the time when 21 Bihar is pulling out of that area in Poonch, and there's a new battalion moving in, which is, I believe, from the Maratha Light Infantry. So there is a transition period here, but the Indian Army anyway will respond at an appropriate time and place further down. Nobody's going to talk about that, of course. The point here is what happens now. Frankly, these incidents can't be stopped because the line of control is what it is. It's undemarcated, it's illogical, it's a line of war actually. Every ground is tested. Every day you're tested. And in that sense, there will be attacks by both sides. These will go on throughout the year. And many of them we won't even come to know of. So the attacks will continue. Diplomatically, what can happen is you have seen the government making contradictory statements in contradicting the army's release yesterday. Clearly, the government is looking at the diplomatic fallout. There's a meeting that the Prime Minister is having with his Pakistani counterpart in September at the UN. Obviously, they don't want to spoil that, the atmospherics for that. And they're also looking at further confidence-building measures, perhaps building up trade, more people-to-people contact. So they have their own options too. They have their own priorities. This discord between in that sense, between the civil and the military will be there. In the Indian system, of course, the civilians are dominant, and it is what the civilians want, which will go ahead. Of course, there's some heartburn in the army, but then they will deal with it in their own way. And at the end of the day, it's a professional army. It'll do what the civilians tell it to. But clearly, the mood in India is against further talks with Pakistan, dialogue with Pakistan, and one isn't sure whether a lack of dialogue is really going to contribute to improving ties between the two countries.